When a kid goes like, "Can you open this for me?" I just go like, "No,
No,
I can't." You should have been given the correct
cannot.
tools to open that.
Stay hydrated. First thing in the morning, tired and yawning. What you gonna do?
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Stay Hydrated with my sister Elizabeth Hall.
And my brother Christopher Hall.
Hope you're all having a wonderful day wherever you are. We are joined by another fabulous guest this week, the comedian, the musician, the all-round gorgeous human, Sarah Hester Ross.
Hello.
Is here with us today.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks so much for being here.
This is hydrated. You're like, what's it called again?
Stay hydrated.
Stay hydrated. Wow.
Yeah.
We're all doing.
Hey.
We all got our Cano water. How clever is that?
Right?
Not sponsored.
Not sponsored, but could be.
Yes.
But could be any day now.
Any day now, we're waiting for the call. There's an Evian here as well. Yeah, just
practice what you preach.
Shout out. Yeah. Although we have discussed already that the only thing I've had this morning is a coffee. So
A coffee.
I'm going back.
And two vitamins. Did you put
Cs.
them in water or was it just
Yeah.
straight?
No, they're
Okay.
in water. Yeah.
Okay, so that's
Yeah, so-
a sense of hydration.
Yeah.
Exactly.
A whisper
Close
of
enough.
hydration.
We've caught you in London on your trip, your tour.
Yeah.
You've been doing some shows here in London. How have they been going?
Really great. This is my first time outside of Edinburgh performing shows in the UK. And I wasn't really knowing what to expect just because Edinburgh was so hard.
Right.
And whoever's been to Edinburgh, like performed, knowing what I'm talking about, like it was a great experience, but it was just like one of the hardest things that I've ever done in my entire life.
It's
And I also did it like incredibly wrong, like I jumped in it with both feet at the last minute, produced it myself, and I made so many mistakes.
Fine.
Lived and learned kind of experience.
I did die and go to heaven at your show, but that's a whole different thing. That was one of my top 3 Edinburgh highlights.
Oh, you were. The show
by
was
far,
amazing.
By far.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
I mean, I'm very proud of the product that I have, and even from Edinburgh to now, my show is so different because Edinburgh changed me. It changed me as an artist, as trying to explain what I'm trying to do. You introduced me as a comedian. I don't know if I consider myself a comedian anymore.
Okay.
And Edinburgh did that. Edinburgh, because there was so many sects of, yes, it's always going to be comedy. I'm always writing funny stuff, and but I think my show itself and who I am as an artist is more cabaret, and I got that from Edinburgh. Obviously, cabaret can be more than just comedy, but so that's what I'm doing now, and the product that came out of Edinburgh and what I'm doing now, touring, which is the serving tour, serving.
Yes.
I'm wearing my own merch like a psychopath.
Hey,
I love
you have to.
Who's gonna love you more than yourself? Nobody.
Exactly.
Nobody.
I just had this conversation yesterday.
So, but yeah, it's the serving tour. I wanted to call it the serving tour, but nobody would let me.
I know that's
Losers.
tough. Unless you did
loser.
Could you
Losers.
could you do Cvnt?
That's the release of the song is V.
Right.
But no, they still wouldn't let me.
Fine.
They were like, no one's gonna put this on a poster. And I'm like, maybe that's cool. Maybe that's rock and roll. Maybe that's punk rock,
But then you're like, oh, actually, I still do
Oh
need
wait,
a poster.
I would like people to come and know about it. So yeah.
I love, maybe that's punk.
Yeah,
Maybe that's what I'm doing.
maybe. When I first heard the word, can we just dive into it?
Yes, this is where the episode is going, and I'm here for it. Yeah.
Well, I was very late in life. I was in college. I grew up very conservative. So I had never heard the word in my life. I was obsessed with it. I thought it is, even to this day, I think it's one of the most adorable words. And when I first heard it, I was like, this is why I wanted to talk about it, because you said punk rock. I wanted to start a band called Bunnies.
Nice.
And I was just like, that's
so fierce.
it's adorable.
Yeah.
And I've always loved the word, and then finding out how much people hate it.
Yeah.
Especially in America. I think that you Brits have gotten a good rep with it. And
Australia.
Oh my God, Australia. It's like
every other word.
a term of endearment.
I love it.
Yeah.
As it should be.
Yeah.
It should be. That's what the word is, so perfect, where you could say it in anger, but it's also like, I love the whole cheeky. I love you. And it's like, why not?
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah. I do feel being born in America is tough when it comes to work. It's just a whole different, because I remember I went and did summer camp in Florida, like as a staffer. And I said, damn. And someone was like, you can't say that around the kids. And then someone else said crap. Like one of the kids said crap. And I was like, so that's not a swear word, but like damn is?
I wasn't allowed to say stupid.
Oh, really?
Yeah. that was
Okay. No, actually, I probably think that our mum, when we were really young, said we can't say that.
To be fair, we'd be like, I hate this. And she'd be like, hate is a very strong word.
It is.
But I really, really, really don't like you.
She's not wrong.
Yeah.
But
It is a very
I
strong
hate
word.
that bitch.
But
you know what I mean?
mean it.
And I'm saying it with my
I
full chest.
hate them.
Yeah. No,
I did
100%.
not stutter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I meant what I said.
Yeah.
You couldn't say stupid.
No, I couldn't. Yeah. I grew up very, very conservative. Didn't
Whereabouts?
listen to secular music. I wasn't it was Christian music all the way. And yeah, it was to think of where I am now from where I came.
Yeah.
Like my mother is so proud of me.
Oh, I was like, she is?
No. And I'm the black sheep of the family. My brother is a worship pastor with two beautiful kids, 3 with his wife, and they're this, Christian family, and I'm, singing about
Serving.
Yeah. Serving in a different way, serving a different Lord.
That's right.
Yeah.
Serving a different purpose.
The Lord of
Yes, exactly.
And so college was where you were like, oh.
Not really. It wasn't until late into my adulthood, because I also was a worship pastor.
Okay.
I went to school for leading worship. I have a minor in Old Testament.
Wow.
Yeah.
All of the best singers I know were worship.
Grew up in church.
Yeah.
They do say that. They say like it has something to do like with the soul. When you start in church, you learn from a very young age singing soulfully and like stuff like that. But what I think is funny about it is the soul can also be easily manipulated.
Yeah.
And that's the funny part to me. I'm trying to figure out how to write a song like explaining how manipulative Christian music is to make you think you're feeling God when really it's just drums.
Yeah, it's just no, but that is so real.
It's just drums.
Do you remember that TikTok song a while ago? And it was that worship thing.
It's music.
Yeah, it's good.
It's just a great pop song.
I can relate.
It can feel
with
good.
Yes,
but that
feels good
doesn't
too.
mean it's the creator of all the universe
Yeah.
in the middle of your, 17-person worship service.
Yeah.
Not saying that it can't happen. Who am I?
Exactly.
What do I know?
You might be in this room now.
But I mean, why the fuck not?
Feels good.
Yeah.
I'm feeling good.
I'm feeling the spirit.
Yeah.
And music is moving.
Yeah.
But where I say, hey, let's check this, is when people are using it to further, and I have a lot of opinions about organized religion, not necessarily spirituality.
Yeah.
Because that's personal, that's faith, and I believe that everyone should do what they feel is right. But when it comes to organized religion, I believe all of them, every single one of them was created for power.
Yeah.
And that's what it is. And I was involved with it. I was part of the manipulation. I did it. I wrote those songs. And I was good because I'm a good musician. And I used them to like affect people's opinions and thoughts in the direction that I wanted them to go. And I can admit now at this point in my life that I used a worship stage because I wanted to be on stage. You know, do you know what Pentecostal is? It's like a sect of Christianity that's like it's just
Really good music.
Yeah, great,
Right.
fantastic, and it's very emotional. And there's a lot like they believe in speaking in tongues and you know, like very energetic, like enthusiastic worship and stuff like that. And basically, it's church for theater kids.
Okay.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I used that. I used that as because I was an entertainer from, womb. I was like, oh, I can be on stage, but it's not about me. Bitch.
Yeah. Watch me.
Let's be honest.
Yeah.
And that's, I feel really good being able to say that about myself. I'm not saying everybody does that, but it's pretty apparent. Like when an artist is trying to become like a famous worship leader, like what does that even mean?
Yeah.
Right.
What does that even mean?
It's
It's like a billionaire pastor. Like that's not supposed to happen.
Yeah. You're not really putting God first.
Yeah, that's an
a
oxymoron.
billionaire. Yeah.
You know?
It does make me, I watched a film, I can't remember the name of it, but it was kind of about like one of the new sort of mega church type things. And like we both grew up in organized religion and have both since left. But the idea of I can preach about Jesus and I can preach about God and then I can say like, is it tithe? Like when you give like
money.
tithing. Give it to me. And then like I'll fly in on my fucking private jet and
Can you believe it?
give you like a 30-minute thing and then get strapped up and fly out to the back. It's just like, I don't know, it's just like the oxymoron of like, well, that, just like two things juxtaposed. It's like, I do think if there is a God, it is about like private connection, doing the right thing, speaking to him if you feel inclined. Like, and I do think a lot about like an afterlife. And I do think there's like, well, I like to think there's like somewhere our souls go and stuff, but I go like, but I don't think I'm going to get in because I gave 30% of my salary.
No, because ultimately, and forgive me of my listeners, because I know that this is a very sensitive subject. I mean, people spend their entire lives being, and I say this all the time, groomed into religion from birth. And you have very little say about it up until the point of your adulthood. And then it's already so ingrained in you, it's hard to unlearn that. They call that deconstruction of the idea. And it's so hard to do. I'm still doing it. I haven't believed in what I was taught for years, over a decade. And I still struggle with like, oh, maybe I shouldn't do that because of like, wait, I don't believe that anymore.
Yeah.
Why is that still in my brain? It's still in my brain because I learned it as a child and it's in me.
Yeah.
And that's what that they meant to do it.
Yeah.
That was the point. That was the purpose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just, it's a very sensitive subject, but I think it's so important to talk about. Oh, I just watched the show the other day. The movie about the Vatican.
Oh,
Did you see that movie? Yes. Conclave, is that what it's
Conclave.
called? Conclave. And they quote, I wrote it down because I'm like, that's so beautiful.
I went to an Oscar party and the only film I'd literally seen was Wicked.
I didn't see any of them either. Wicked was the only one I saw.
But Conclave looked great from all the clips. I was like, maybe I'll watch this one.
I watched it on the plane.
Okay,
so,
nice.
it wasn't like I was I was trapped.
Yeah.
So I had little, but okay. Certainty is the great enemy of unity. Certainty is the deadly unity of tolerance. That blew my mind because if you think about it, it's just like once you are so sure, you're no doubt, it divides you from other people and what they believe and it's how do you have tolerance when
your opinion is the only one?
When you're talking to someone and it's like, nah, you're wrong, I'm right.
Yeah.
Right.
You know? How does that encourage empathy or understanding or community for that matter? Which is ultimately what all religions are striving for is to gain a sense of community.
And what's so frustrating is that so much of, writings from every religion is empathetic and kind and unifying with statements like that.
Yeah.
And then it's a shame that everything gets everything gets kind of shuffled around in these modern times to like divide people.
Yeah.
I kind of only know it from like a Catholic lens point really, but like I genuinely, even though like our mum is very Catholic, growing up, whenever I had conversations with her, she was always like, I think church is important for it's an hour to meditate. And like, and she kind of always used to say like, to me, I think ultimately like Jesus isn't going to turn a good person away from the gates. If there's a tribe somewhere that like in a rainforest that hasn't ever heard of Jesus, I don't think they're going to be turned away if they were good people, which is actually pretty forward thinking for like,
it is. Yeah.
So someone who is very Catholic. But I mean, I think you're right. Like, Jesus going in and like, what does he like wrecks the they're like selling stuff in the temple and he like knocks it over.
Yes.
Yeah.
Goes and hangs out with like Mary Magdalene, like that hoe, like,
Yeah. He was hanging out with the hoes. Absolutely.
Hanging out with the hoes, hanging out with like, he like does something with the tax collector.
Yeah. And just the
outcasts.
The outcasts and the less fortunate. And
And actually, like, if you can take that from religion, then so much good can come from it. But if you can't.
I agree. I think that there is good that can come from it. And it does. It does. But the reason why I'm so passionately like, nah. Is because the basis of it, the bottom line is you're wrong, I'm right. And why?
Yeah.
Why does that matter? Why does it matter to be right?
Yeah.
When at the end of the day, none of us know.
Exactly.
None of us.
No,
you can
know.
believe, you can have your faith, you can have it, but why does that make you better?
Yeah.
Or
more informed than anyone else when there's so many religions all over the world? How do we know that? How can you be so sure
yours
that you're
is the right one?
Yeah.
The arrogance.
Yeah.
The arrogant. And I was in it. I think there's a God. I think there's a creator. I'm not sure if it's because it was ingrained in me. I don't know if I could ever get rid of that altogether,
Yeah.
I don't know if it's possible.
I remember when I like realized I was gay, I was like, okay, so religion can't be, like God can't be real.
And that's so sad.
And I literally, probably like 3 years ago, was like thinking and I was like, to be honest, if the church had been cool with gay people, I'd probably
still
would
be
have gone,
Catholic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I honestly probably would have gone like, oh fuck, like I'm gay. All right.
Yeah.
And just like still gone because ultimately, I like do like believe in like psychic. I'm kind of like, and I have seen things where I go like, oh, people are connecting to another side. I'm sure of it, whether or not it's just like really good editing, but you know what I mean?
There's always a chance.
Long Island Medium. That's
yeah. I'm like,
I've
there's the Long Island Medium.
This show.
And it changed my life.
I watched this TV show about ghosts and I'm like,
Low-key,
whoa.
Tyler Henry, honestly.
I've seen ghosts.
But it could have been editing.
but it was Casper. But but I remember having that thought and I was like, God, that's so sad. But hey,
Yeah.
Serving.
free.
So from worship minister
Yeah.
to cabaret artist,
Isn't that wild?
it's quite the journey, but
It's a long journey.
But it makes sense. It makes sense. And a lot of your music, one of the most prominent hits, Stop Giving Me Microphones, has that gospel.
Yeah, it does. I do at
worship,
the end, like take it to church kind of thing. It's supposed to be a joke and play. That's so funny. That's a perfect like transition into that.
So for people that haven't seen your show or don't know your material or whatever, what could people expect from the Sarah Hester Ross show?
It's basically if Bette Midler and Rachel Bloom and Tim Minchin had a baby.
Nice.
That's
There it is.
me.
Yeah.
Wah.
And here it is. Yeah.
Yeah. So
That baby cry. That baby cry really just got me.
it was a good period on that weird statement. I'm like, that's a fucked up family.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Bette Midler is a huge inspiration of mine.
Incredible.
Comedian in her own right, but it's not like her live shows are very vaudeville, very big, very. Like,
Is it the last show? What's that Vegas? Is it the Last Show Girl or the?
Is she in that?
No. Her residency. What was it called? I'm
Oh,
gonna do a research break.
I didn't know that she did a residency. Of course she did, though. She's perfect for Vegas.
Showgirl Must Go On.
Okay,
Must Go On.
love that.
Iconic.
But yeah, so her show is very shticky, but it's music driven. And then Rachel Bloom with Crazy Ex-Girlfriend in the serious topics but putting them in a fun, quirky, musical way. And then obviously Tim Minchin being a pianist and musician.
Mm-hmm.
Like his musicality is top tier. And yet, he's singing about eating cheese. That is what I ultimately want to do. So I want the shtick of Bette Midler with I change costumes like 4 or 5 times. I love to overdo that. I sing specifically. I have songs about abortion. I talk about women's health, women's rights. I talk about, men are trash. So, and I feel like it's less political and more like, don't do this, but uplifting women as much as I can because, in the society that we're in, it's just women don't get that too often. So I do feel like it's less I hate men and more like I love women.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think also
Also the I hate men is fine.
Yeah. No, it's super trendy.
That'd be cool too.
Yeah,
but I love women is
but that
we love. Yeah.
Oh, there's
Same, that was,
there's plenty of that in there.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. But
I was also like, stop giving men microphones.
I know, right? I really should just lift you two to it.
I know. Hey, Chris isn't here today for obvious reasons. But yeah, I remember watching your show and also your videos. I think something you do amazingly is just putting it really simply. Like, I don't want to have babies, when you're kind of like, I respect you having a baby. I don't want to clean up shit off the wall.
Yeah.
I don't want to ask, why is this wet? I think that is the funniest fucking line, by the way.
Yeah.
In like, I don't want to ask for the next 10 years or something like, why is this wet?
Why is this wet? And that is
And literally fuck that.
all they say.
Because we both worked in a kids' summer camp when we were when we were like 18.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I remember Chris coming home and being like, I hate lunchtime. Why would a parent give their kid yogurt? Unlock something.
Did that just bring up trauma? Oh
yeah,
no. I see it in your eyes. You're like
I will I've worked with, been around taught children dancing, like all ages. Yeah, worked in this summer camp and enjoy pastoral care. That's fun. Yeah. I'm quite good at it. But the collective smell of 40 people eating lunch, 40 children when they go, because each lunchbox has a smell of food, even if it's not a particularly
dirty.
It's not like an egg salad. It's just anything, a lunchbox will smell of food. When 40 lunchboxes open at the same time, I go into like a psychosis. I am like, what the fuck just happened? It's so gross. And then
smells like plastic wrap, like saran wrap.
I think it's the Velcro.
It's
Velcro reeks, especially when it just gets like the food particles in
all the
it.
time.
It's like, and it's almost impossible to clean out. So you're just like, I have worse problems.
Yeah.
I can't.
There's
I
shit on
can't.
the wall.
I can't pee alone.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna let that be.
Yeah.
But then yogurt. In America, do you have like the squeezy like yogurt?
Yeah.
When a kid goes like, "Can you open this for me?" I just go like, "No, I can't." You should have been given the correct tools to open that. Like, you should have been sent here with the correct tools. And then like sometimes like they'd have half of it and then be like, "Can you take this away from me?" And I'd be like, "No, like I can't take that like yogurty packet away from you." And my least favorite thing was when if a child had a tub of yogurt, like a carton, they'd take the lid off and then somehow they'd always manage to stick it yogurt side down on the floor on the table and then be like, "Chris, can you get this yogurt lid for me?" And I'd have to say, no. That is something that you're going to have to walk alone. And I'm going to be there at the other side. I'm going to be there at the bin, praising you for
encouraging
cleaning it
you,
up.
and look at you.
And I'll say,
"Look at you.
Well done. Look what you've done. Look at what you've overcome." For me, I'm not going to be able to clear up your yogurt for you. It's just not something I can do. I can't be there, but I will be there at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we can play, we can hang out at the end.
Now, I know you're both very young. Do you want kids? Is that something that you see in your future, or do you know, or do you care not thinking about it? Because again, you're both young, so.
I don't really see it in my future.
Okay.
I feel as a gay child in the 90s, it was like, so like, this is not something that you can do. Like, this is just not going to be something that you could do. And that was like that, because I did, as I said, like growing up, I was like, I like kids. And when I was a teenager, I feel you don't really like, but know what the actual responsibility would be to have one.
Put a human into the world and then be in charge of them. And
Totally. And then like, I think part of my whole coming out was like completely deleting that, like almost, deconstructing, like, this is not going to be something that's going to be in your future. So I kind of...
But the deconstruction part is like, that's okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's not a bad thing.
No, totally.
Like, but it is in society, like, that's a very selfish mindset of just like, oh, you're not going to have kids? That's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
That's what you're supposed to fall in love and have kids. And, I would assume it's still there in the gay community too, because, adoption is a thing. And
well, the thing is now I find it quite odd because people go to me like, "Do you want kids?" And I go, "Not really." And they go, "What? Why?" And I go like, because I was told for like a really long time that I was a freak and I couldn't have them.
Yeah.
Like, so I kind of like, I moved on and like put a lot of work into my like career and what I wanted to do and my friends and like travel, I found other kind of like loves and aspirations. And then like, it's really funny now because I feel like, I'm trying to write like a bit.
Why?
Like, don't you want them? I'm like, you told you can't. So I feel like I'm being gaslit. I'm like, you said I couldn't have them.
What are you talking about? We never said that.
Yeah. I'm like, okay.
No. Like for decades.
Yeah, for a long time.
Longest time.
Yeah. So I find it quite like funny now that, because I also feel like people are saying it less to women, which is kind of good. Like I feel like if women say I don't want them, people kind of go like, cool. I mean, it's maybe especially in London, they compete like, and people. It's getting
not online.
No, exactly not online. But
no,
I feel like
that's good. It's that.
Yeah.
If it's getting normalized,
and this is in
like
my
that.
experience. I'm sure lots of people. I'm sure, as your gay best friend, I'm like, oh, it's getting better. And they're like, okay. But then I feel like people are now coming to me being like, you want kids, right? And I'm like, oh, no, not like, not me. Then they're like, what? And I'm like, okay, so now it's like for like gay men to be like, but you can adopt. I'm like, but that also takes a really fucking long time. And like, you have to be like.
And it's a commitment.
I feel like.
What you said earlier is so funny because I think that a lot, especially younger people, they're like, I like kids. I was like, what? Okay.
That's a third of it. Oh, no, like 3% of it.
Yeah. That doesn't mean you should create a human being and have your entire life be turned upside down to make sure that human stays alive, is not a shitty person, you know, it is a serious job. It is a serious business. And I think a lot of us as a society has just taken it being like, oh, I like kids, or I want to start a family. What does that mean? That's crazy. To just that to be the reason why you have kids. Oh, I want them. Let's think. Let's think about what this is going to mean and what it's going to do and what it's. Not saying it's wrong. Have them, but like it's not it shouldn't be a flippant decision.
No. Yeah.
You know,
some of my best friends now are having children, and they are, you know, having really, really wonderful experiences, and some people are finding it like really tough. And I'm like really, you know, admiring a lot of, you know, them, you know, these people that I used to like get drunk on a street corner with are now like, hey, I'm doing this thing.
Where's
where
the
I'm
nappies?
Creating this thing. And I'm like, you know, in awe of them. And, cause you know, it's hard. And then it's hard. It's really, really hard.
It's interesting to think about that. I'm sure there's someone that's done the bit that it's like, as straight people, it's so easy to become parents. Like you can do it by accident.
Yeah.
And gay people have to really want it.
Really want and go through so much
really
years.
Want it.
Yeah.
And then still have to kind of fight for the validity of your family.
Right.
And you're kind of like, yeah, this wasn't like, not. And again, I'm not taking anything away from straight couples because lots of people plan things and whatever. But
yes, of course,
you can't just like have sex on a Tuesday and be like, whoops. You know, it's like, this has taken us 10 months. And then, you know, I mean, and in my current relationship, my girlfriend definitely like wants children or like, you know, talks about it and stuff. But I think, and I do, but there's something about where we're at as a world where you go like, you know, I kind of always envision myself ending back up probably in America. And you go like, well, there's certain states that are starting to fight to take away gay marriage again.
Yeah.
And you know, there's certain and like if I had a kid and they were trans, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
Absolutely. And that's a really popular conversation right now of like people that want kids, but it's like, is making the decision to put a human into the world right now.
Yeah.
That's hard.
Yeah. Oh.
Mood lighting?
Taking us into the evening.
This is Stay Hydrated After Dark.
Yes.
Be like, also, I meant that if I had a kid and they were trans, I would love them, but it would be a hard political climate. Anyway.
Yeah.
Not that, imagine.
And they were trans.
People are like, I'm like,
forget it.
That's not what I meant. That's not what I meant.
Take it back. Can you?
That's not what I meant.
That's not what she meant.
Okay,
come on, come on.
It's a serious conversation right now, and it's so funny because people are making the argument of like, you know, parents should. Because of RFK and doesn't believe in vaccines, and parents should be, and he's trying to normalize the idea that, you know, parents don't have to vaccinate their kids and stuff like that, even though it's been proven.
There's like so much other stuff
over
that you could be
and
doing
over
with your
again
time.
that it's good. I'm not saying just take it without doing research and having your beliefs and thoughts and study, like make your decision, but don't just do it because you think that there's like gay in it, you know?
Right.
Come on, like.
No, the fucking meningitis vaccine doesn't turn you gay because there's not that many gay people.
Right.
in the world. Like,
Yeah, it's like trans women in sport.
They're
and it's
so
like 6 of them.
obsessed with trans women right now.
Yeah.
And
I
it's so disgusting. And that meme that like Trump has more sexual allegations than
It's
there
just-
are trans people
Yeah.
in sports.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's
Yeah,
just
yeah,
like,
yeah.
can we all calm down? They're like a 0.6% of our population.
Yeah.
They're not
Yeah.
out to
leave
get
it,
us.
No.
leave it alone.
It's
Leave them alone.
wild. We did it with gay people for so long, and
Yeah.
it's still happening, obviously, but
Yeah.
it's more normalized. And now it's trans people
Yeah.
because they don't understand it, and
Yeah.
so it has to be bad.
Yeah.
If they don't understand it, it's devil. It's utter bullshit.
Well, in this house, trans people exist and are visible and loved.
And the church
100%.
says, "Amen."
The church in this room
Yeah.
says amen.
Yes.
Period.
Love.
Agreed.
I could not have. I don't think I could have predicted
This is
the
where we were going to go.
just where we were going to go this morning. But it's been amazing from
such a
serving to organized religion to
deconstruction,
deconstruction
Trans
to trans
politics.
rights.
I love it.
Yeah, we love you. Thank you so much for being here.
I love you guys too. Thanks for having me.
And I'm so glad we caught you. You're literally in the UK for only a few days, but
Yeah, less than 24 hours now.
yeah.
Oh my God.
Where can people find you online? And yeah, let us know.
Yeah, I'm everywhere is at Sarah Hester Ross, 2 H's, 2 R's. Yeah, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Facebook,
everything.
I guess.
Hey, cover all bases.
We got to do what we got to do, I guess.
Exactly.
But yeah, find me.
Go find her. She's an incredible musician, cabaret artist.
Oh,
super funny.
I also have a comedy special on Amazon Prime.
Love.
And
Period.
if you're a member, you can watch that for free. It's called Don't Mess with a Redhead.
Ever.
I'm very proud of it. I released it a year ago, and I'm going to try to do another PR push for the anniversary because,
Amazing.
why not?
Yeah, I love
when
that.
will
What else I
that
gotta
be?
do?
When's the anniversary?
The 20s something of April.
Okay, fun.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
it'll be then.
Amazing.
So check that out.
Yeah. Well, go check her out. Go find her. Thank you so much for listening. Thanks for being here, Sarah. And thanks for being here, Elizabeth. Love
No
you.
problem. Just remember, Chris, Sarah, please stay
Stay
hydrated.
hydrated.
Just before bed is good for your head. What you gonna do? Stay hydrated. Stay hydrated. With Chris and Lizzie.